What is up, Film Geeks? My name is Trevor, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we are giving you guys our top 5 favorite movie villains, and I say we because I'm joined by one of my good pals on the YouTube platform, Certain Vids. Certain, how you doing, my friend?
I am doing good, man. Thanks for having me on. I am hyped to talk about some villains. I love me a good villain. I am hyped right now.
Oh, dude, I can't wait to get into this. So, you have some honorable mentions as well, right?
Yes, I do have 5 honorable mentions.
All right, well,
apart from
let's
my top
start with
5.
those. Go ahead and read them off, and then I'll get into mine, then we'll get into our top 5s.
All right, I'm just gonna read all 5 of them out right now. I've got Vulture from Spider-Man: Homecoming, who's easily one of my favorite MCU villains. I've got Hans Gruber from Die Hard, iconic one. Alan Rickman, so good in that. I've got Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin from Spider-Man 1, who is like very slept on in my opinion. I think he's a great villain too. Killmonger from Black Panther, who is another great MCU villain. And I've got, I think you might have this on your actual top 5, Hans Landa from Inglorious Bastards, who is just portrayed to perfection by Christoph Waltz. I love this character, who Tarantino almost took him out, but then Christoph Waltz auditioned like a week before he cut the character.
Yeah.
It made it in, and I love this guy, dude. I love him.
My honorable mentions, I have 4, and I'm a diehard Lord of the Rings guy, so I had to throw this one in here. Sauron, I won't really explain them, but Sauron more has like, he never really get to see him, but he's more like he's always there, and like, and if he does come, we're screwed. So it's more like the idea that he's out there rather than him actually being a great villain. Then I have Bane. The Dark Knight Rises is one of my favorite superhero movies of all time.
I know that.
Heath Ledger's Joker from The Dark Knight. You had to throw him in there. I love him a lot. And last but not least is Voldemort from the Harry Potter franchise. And the first couple of movies, he was always in there. You know, always kind of like more of an aura like Sauron. But then when he does come in, Voldemort's scary, man. And how he talks, it kind of freaks me out. But let's go ahead and get into our top 5s. And what is your top number 5?
My number 5 is going to be Scar from The Lion King. This is easily one of my favorite animated villains of all time. I think Jeremy Irons' voice is iconic and memorable. Long live the king. It is so deep and just sends chills down my spine. I love Scar. I love his dynamic with Simba. I think he's such a great villain. Love this movie, man. I love this movie so much. It's one of my favorite childhood movies, and Scar is one of my favorite probably villains ever. As you can see, it's on my top 5.
Yeah. Heck yeah. So that Scar is awesome, and I'm sure I might be getting to him here in a second. But my number 5 is going to be Hans Landa from Inglorious Bastards, portrayed by Christoph Waltz. You really did. I mean, I saw that film fact the other day. Hans Landa is just the opening scene alone to come in so innocent, but basically trick this dude into telling them that they're under there. That just shows that, like, first off, he's a charming villain, which is a dangerous villain, but also, like, he's not the guy going out there to kill everyone. He's playing the orchestra, as Steve Jobs says. And, I mean, Quentin Tarantino, one of my favorite filmmakers, obviously, Hans Landa had to make this list. He's so memorable to me, and that's a bingo. So, number 5 was Hans Landa for me. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is a very common pick. It's gonna be Thanos from the MCU, obviously.
Ooh.
I think the thing I love about this character is you can see where he's coming from. He's just going about it the wrong way, but his intentions are kind of clear. And the best part about Infinity War is that he's the protagonist of that movie. He's pretty much the main character. The Avengers are kind of the antagonists, and you follow him through his journey. He's willing to do whatever it takes. I think one of my favorite scenes regarding Thanos is like one of the biggest surprises I had in Infinity War, which is after Scarlet Witch kills Vision, he just reverses time and just like gets that stone back, and that was so memorable. I still remember my reaction to that scene. That was crazy. And Thanos is like he's one of my favorite villains ever. He's just so freaking cool.
My number 4 is going to be one you already mentioned, and that's Scar, voiced by Jeremy Irons. I won't touch too much on this, but Scar is very memorable because he's kind of the outcast, and he's just a snake. He's a snake in the grass, and he's got to chop his head off, basically. And he's always going under Mufasa, and once he saw his opportunity, he took it. And he killed his own brother. I mean, Scar is very devious, and again, he's a snake, and he knew he couldn't do anything as long as his brother was king. And he's like, oh, I want to be king. Here we go. So, Scar, again, Jeremy Irons. I wish he reprised his role in the live-action Lion King. Man. That was a big disappointment for me, but Scar he's so memorable. He's so amazing, and he's a jerk, like, for real. So that's my number 4. What's your number 3?
My number 3, I'm a Spider-Man fan. It's gonna be Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2. He probably has my favorite villain redemption of all time.
Sure.
I think his arc is so powerful. I think he starts off as Peter's idol, and then he ends I will not die a monster. That scene means like so much to me. That scene is like so epic in my opinion. And Doc Ock, obviously Alfred Molina is great, but Doc Ock is one of my favorite comic book villains ever. I think I like him more than Thanos. Doc Ock is gonna be in my top 3 for sure.
Wow, that's awesome. I know you're a Spider-Man 2 guy, so
Yeah.
I won't say nothing. My number 3 is going to be Fletcher from Whiplash.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
J.K. Simmons gives to me the best performance of all time. I mean, the whole
Wow.
Not quite my tempo.
Are you rushing or were you dragging?
Exactly, and how like just rude and blunt and serious he is about his music, how passionate he is. So in a way, you can kind of see that like he's kind of like he just doesn't want his band to be sabotaged, but also in a way like, dude, you are way over the stream, way over the top, and he's extreme. And the ending with Neiman and Fletcher, how basically he's like kind of just goes under him and he's like, "Yep, I got you back," and crazy arc, crazy unlikable character, but that's my number 3. What's your runner-up?
I'm going to piggyback off of what you said because my runner-up is Terence Fletcher from Whiplash.
Wow.
J.K. Simmons, man, he's like, I think that what I love about this character is that there are moments where he's like really calm, but he's like super intense at the same time because you know what he's capable of. Oh man, I think everything you said, I'm not going to go on too long because everything you said is true. I love this character a lot. I think the ending is pretty much perfect. Oscar win, well deserved, man. I really, really like him. And there's not much else I can say.
No, for sure. I 100% agree. So my runner-up is I don't know if this is a hot take to put him at number 2, but it's none other than Darth Vader. I love Darth Vader so much. And one thing I loved about him, is, like especially from the original trilogy, is that like you don't really know who Darth Vader is in A New Hope. When he comes walking up, you see this guy with a red lightsaber, and he's dressed in all black, and he has a helmet on. You just know he means business. Again, it's kind of like this aura around him. You're like, oh my God, Darth Vader, like who's he gonna do? But then basically by Return of the Jedi, he kind of proves again that he is the chosen one, and he is coming back. So. I don't know. His arc is fantastic, and to see the prequels, I'm a fan of the prequels. So to see how Anakin starts slowly turning into Darth Vader, and then the whole scene where Anakin in Revenge of the Sith, halfway through, when Darth Sidious tells him you'll be known as Darth Vader, one of my favorite Star Wars lines of all time. Or also, no, I am your father. So Darth Vader is. It's crazy aura around him. Darth Vader is one of the ultimate villains for me. So that's my number 2. What's your number 1?
My favorite villain of all time. You touched on it in your honorable mentions. It's Heath Ledger's Joker.
Wow.
Heath Ledger's Joker from The Dark Knight. He has so many iconic and memorable lines for one, and he's such an intimidating villain. Kind of one. I do need to rewatch The Dark Knight to get a better grasp on my thoughts, but he's the perfect foil for Batman. Even in the comics and in the TV shows and everything, he's always been like the iconic, like the best villain, pretty much out of the entire roster. Heath Ledger, man, such a great actor. R.I.P. Such a sad thing that he passed away. I would have loved to see more of him after Dark Knight because he was so crazy good.
That's an awesome number 1, but my number 1 is one, again, you touched on already, the MCU's Thanos. Okay. It has to be Thanos. I'm a diehard fan of Thanos. To me, he was my favorite character in Infinity War, which is hard saying, but like he's so powerful with the stones or without the stones, but like his vision, quite frankly, makes sense. What he's trying to do, his vision and his goals, like you really like bought into what he was talking about. So like, all right, anything he was trying to do, like he basically wanted to wipe out half humanity so the other half could prosper. And like, that's next level thinking first off, but also that's like a next level thing you can do if he pulls that off. Like that's like history books. And Thanos is very. Not only is he powerful, but he's kind of likable in a way as well. Like he does love his daughter. Like the scene with Gamora, like he actually is crying. Like he does love her, and he's like the dad that I feel like lots of kids can kind of relate to. That their dad was hard on them, and like they just tried to basically please their dad and basically give them like hopefully they give like the love affection that they always wanted. Like, hey, I'm just doing this so my dad notices me. That Nebula and Gamora kind of do. So therefore, he comes in at number 1. Dude, thank you so much for joining me. I always enjoy our collabs. They're always so much fun to do. So
they are
very fun. What's new to come for Certain Vids? Any videos got in the works?
Well, today is Saturday, or no, today's Sunday.
Sunday.
The time we're recording this, June 12th. Tonight is going to be a Spider-Man live debate with a couple of guests that I'm going to have on, so that should be fun. And then tomorrow, I'm planning on releasing a Batman v Superman review, part of my DCEU rewatch series. Might have to delay that, but I'm hoping I can make that on Monday. And then Thursday should be top 5 favorite movies of 2020 so far. So that's another video. And then other than that, I did record a collab with Chris from Film Stocks, we should check out.
Sure.
And that should be going up, I think, Monday as well. So a couple of new videos coming out. And then obviously we have the live podcast that we do every single Sunday. So that's always going to be a thing.
That's awesome, man. And I'll put the descriptions to your, or the links to in the description to your social media and your YouTube page. Make sure to go give Certain Vids a follow on Instagram and subscribe to his page. He got a lot of awesome content, and his audio is crisper than ever. Dude, thank you so much for joining me. I always have a blast. Yep.
Yeah, no problem, man. Any collabs you want to do, I'm down. So.
Yep.
Sounds
good, brother.
Always fun.
Heck yeah. Well, do us a favor and go see a movie, and we'll see you guys next time.